Hey guys, we are finally on here. We take a few weeks off from live feeds, then we're late coming on. But we were catching up on some things real quick before coming on here. But I hope you guys are doing well. We got Dan up here in the top corner. We got Alex down there. I'm Dennis for the new people. And thank you guys for being here.
Yeah.
Tonight's live, it is going to kind of be a little different than normal. We're going to cover several things and announcements, just stuff we're doing now, stuff that we have upcoming, and updating you guys on all of that. One of the things that's going to be upcoming is something that one of you may be able to participate in. And that's one of the experiments. And then we're going to do a few giveaways tonight. We're going to give away 2 Muddy Water t-shirts. And then at the end, there's going to be a giveaway. And I'll tell you this, I don't even know what the prize is. Alex does. And he said, let's keep it a secret till the end. So that will be coming up as well tonight. And then towards the end, we have an announcement to make on Muddy Water Search and Recovery. Big step for us, something that we feel is going to make us, how would I say it? You know, I don't want to say better, but more efficient at what we do. So we have quite a bit to cover tonight.
Yeah. And just a side note, Dennis, you're actually breaking up worse than you were before.
Yeah.
Wow.
I got a big delay.
Yeah, you're super getting stuck and staticky, so.
This is weird. My signal's showing full strength and everything.
Yeah. Are you on your laptop or are you on Megan's?
Yeah, go ahead and pull it up through StreamYard on yours, and I'll add it, then come in there. Just go to StreamYard. So she's getting it set up on hers, and I'm going to swap over to that one once it's set up.
Okay.
God, I love technology. But it's been a few weeks since we've got, wow, I really froze up there.
Yeah, you had a huge smile.
Hey, at least it ain't some of those faces I make when I freeze.
I had to go back and rewatch this.
Hey, Alex, at least we look normal right now.
What are you going to do with it?
He just had the big chipmunk smile. So
he's running to the other one.
Yeah. Well, Dan, how have you been? You got anything? How's things been going on your side with TikTok and all of your stuff? How's that been? How's the Amber Alert stuff been recently? You want to give us an update on, is it
unreal?
Down? Is it getting worse?
It's gotten way worse. I mean, Texas has had close to 30 Amber Alerts.
Oh, wow.
This year alone.
Yeah.
And that's not including the other missing people in Texas. Tennessee, there's been a drastic increase. It's crazy all over.
Yeah.
Last weekend, did the search for Bruce.
Yeah.
That gave us an area cleared.
Yeah.
That would make a total of
check your notes.
27 areas cleared in that area.
Yeah.
Can we bring it in here?
Something like that, 27 or 28, somewhere around that range.
Yeah.
Now there is another area, but I gotta reach out to some property owners.
Yeah.
Because they did look rather interesting, and that's a lot better. He's moving around a lot better. I just can't.
Yeah. Dennis, I hate to say it, but it's time to take that other computer and throw that sucker away. It just it's I think it's so slow. It's just probably slow, a little, whatever. You look like us now.
Yeah, he looks. It's a lot brighter too.
Brighter, clearer. It doesn't have this blue aura tint to it. So I'll call you Turbo. So what do you think next, Dan? I mean, what's up next with that particular case then?
I want to gain access to at least 2 properties right off that creek,
Yeah.
maybe 3,
Yeah.
because it's a lot of wooded areas.
Yeah.
These are more dense woods compared to the other ones. Just a small strip of woods and then a land right on the other side cleared.
Yeah.
I want these wooded areas because of the fact that, say,
I don't know.
either somebody dumped them there or he injured himself and wandered off in there thinking he was going to find a way out and didn't quite make it.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you was what's drawing you to this area where you're looking? Did you
Cell phone ping.
cell phone ping? So the cell phone ping in the general area has led you to believe that that's where he's at. And has there been any leads or anything that possibly says a foul play situation, or do you think it's he was on his own and something happened and he?
So there's a few different scenarios that are in play here.
Okay.
The Aryan Brotherhood, of course, because of the drug trade down there. His girlfriend did owe money to a dealer that was connected to the Aryan Brotherhood. That they had a property out there, probably about 30 minutes away from where the cell phone ping was.
Okay.
That the FBI raided that property and dug up 16 bodies worth of remains.
Wow.
On that one property. So they're still trying to go through and identify all of them, because that's 16 different people, and they gotta make sure each set is going with the right person.
Yeah. So was his, since there was a cell phone ping, was his cell phone ever found or is it missing?
It's never been found. That's why we've been looking for not only him, but his truck keys are missing, and wallet and cell phone.
And have you been in that exact area where supposedly the cell phone was last pinged?
Yep. Multiple different searches in that whole area. Because a cell phone ping, it's not like an exact area, like within feet. A cell phone ping can go out to 3 to 9 miles.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it depends on the server. Like the biggest one out there, I believe it is either Verizon or T-Mobile. And I spoke with the sister, and his cell phone ping was AT&T, so I had to do some research and figure out which towers AT&T used, and I was able to figure out that and map out a 9-mile radius, and that's where all of them have been centralized. Now, Luther PD, I contacted them about one of the property areas. They asked me to stand down on that one because they were going to have a cadaver dog team go out there, which was perfectly fine because Oklahoma Metro Search and Rescue, they have some of the best cadaver dog teams in Oklahoma. Yeah. So they went out there and ran the dogs. Now, they did find remains, but those remains were later confirmed to be animal. So that cleared that one big property that I was really focused on because there was a tip that came in that around like a week or two after he went missing, there was a foul odor in that area of death. And they didn't originally look into that tip. So when I spoke with the chief of police in Luther, I explained to him we had tips come in stating that there was a foul odor around that same time. That area needs search. I
Yeah.
am reaching out to the property owner and I'm going to gain access. And law enforcement and Oklahoma Metro searched that property with cadaver dogs, and that's when they found animal bones.
Yeah.
But that does clear that property. I mean, it's right across the street from a cemetery, but at least that property's cleared.
Yeah. I know, when you talk about the smell, this smell of death, we've all smelled dead animals on the side of the road. Every single person has probably at least once in their life have smelt that.
Mm-hmm.
And like the week before last, when my daughter and her boyfriend, and we were coming back from one of my other sons' houses, we were over on the east side of basically Leavenworth over in Platte County. And we were in the bottoms in the farmlands area, and we came across, this smell, and we were on a gravel road. It's not I mean, the traffic is probably the least as you would get. I mean, there's only, I think 6 houses on this dead end road, and the road's a long road. I mean, it's a 2 mile, maybe 2.5 mile, back and forth cul-de-sac type gravel road. And, when we first were going to my son's house, we smelled it, and I was just like, oh my word, what? Oh, that's bad. That's really bad. And, we've had quite a few cases of people in Leavenworth, the city and Leavenworth County, just in the last 2 months that have gone missing. And so we went to my son's house, picked up a load of plywood. And when we left, I was talking to my daughter, and I'm like, I think we just need to stop and, go walk and look. And I said, it was bad. And, unfortunately, I have never smelled human remains yet. I have not been in that situation yet.
I have.
But I can tell you this, whatever it was, and I've had dead cows, all the stuff that I've ever been involved with. I mean, I've smelt death, but not human death. This was so bad that it literally was in my sinuses, in my head, and I could not get it out for like a day and a half. Like, I just constantly kept smelling it. And, we walked 3 areas of the field, and we didn't find nothing, and I thought about it, and I thought, well, did a deer get hit? There's not enough traffic down there that I would think a deer would run out in front of a car and then get hit right in that area. Now, if it was off the highway and we were in this scenario, I could see that. But this is a road that's windy. It's got some straight areas. I think the speed limit's 40 maybe on this road, 35 or 40. So, in my mind, I kept thinking, okay, I can't see it being a dead deer or a dead dog. And we walked the ditches and looked. I didn't see no dead raccoons, possums or nothing. So, I don't know if it was over a couple fields, or it could have been down clear across to another road, and the wind was it was very windy that day. But it was so bad that even with the windows up and the air conditioner on in the truck, you could still not get away from it in that area. And it was just bad.
It is. It's
yeah. So, I was down there last week and I didn't smell it whatsoever. So I don't know, and very well That day the wind was blowing out of the south. It was a really warm day. It was one of the warmest days we've had this year, to enough that we had the air on in the truck. So it was blowing from the south, and then when I was down there last time, the wind was blowing from kind of like the northwest. So it totally could have still be there, but it's just blowing. It was, on the side of where we're at.
It's hard to get a direct direction because when the wind changes, it's going to hit you from different angles, and you're not going to know which way to go.
Yeah. You got it figured out there, boss?
Think so.
Oh, we got major.
You got feedback. Is there another device near you?
Yeah, I tried turning it on a different one because on her computer right now, you guys are like on repeat. It was just echoing over and over.
Huh. Well, that's odd.
No, because it's going to be the same when I turn the volume up here. It would have to come off of that one.
So right now, if we talk, you're hearing echoes?
It's not going to change. We tried that.
Over or something.
But I come completely out of that, so it would have made a difference.
See, I'm not hearing him echo. Keep talking, Dennis. Louder.
Y'all hear me?
Yeah, you're fine.
So leave it right there. I can hear it. Though. I think we're good to go then.
I mean, you've been fine since you've been on Megan's computer.
Even the chat saying that it's gone. It's good.
Nice.
How many people we got watching right now?
27.
27 people. Well, thank you everybody that's watching right now. Appreciate, we're here with us tonight.
And technical difficulties I seem to attract.
Yeah.
Oh, there's 30 watching now.
We seem to have technical difficulties quite often.
Some of my people from TikTok came over.
Awesome. Well, thanks to all the TikTokians for being here. So I think I have people from, the other TikTok channel that I do that said they would show up. So I hope they're here. I would be, we try to reach as many people as we can from every direction. So
going back to the giveaways tonight, I'm writing down the names of everybody in the comments, and we will pull names from those for the winners. So if you haven't commented yet, leave a comment so we know you're here and can get you added in for the giveaways.
yes.
Hey, look at it this way. They're thankful they ain't got to keep tapping the screen over and over and over again.
But yeah, we need you to comment tonight and let us know that you're there and just not a little the head emoji, emotocon, whatever you want to call it. That way we know you're here and you're watching us. And like Dennis said, we're going to have a couple shirts to give away, and then we're going to have a special item that nobody's going to know about till it shows up at your door. So we will just need you when this show's over with. And, if your name's drawn, then you'll have to reach out to our email and email us, your full name, because sometimes people don't use their full names on YouTube. But we will need your name and your address, and we'll get those shirts to you. And if you win the special grand prize for this show's drawing, you'll receive something pretty cool in the mail.
Petina, Who were you doing a search for? If I said your name right.
And Catfish can't say nothing about us being late tonight because he was late too.
You mean Catfish was late?
He admitted it too.
Well, that was awesome that he admitted that he was late for once. How is old Catfish been?
He's been missing for 2 years, 4 months. Wow. Where's that out of? You been sick?
Uh-oh, Bobby. What's been wrong with you?
East Liverpool, Ohio. Oh, wow. So many.
Yeah.
So we had what, 32 new cases come in? Is that what you said? 32 or 36?
We had 36 total new cases come in just since the weekend that we done the farm show.
Wow. Yeah, we haven't been on in quite a few weeks. It was just nonstop, and I think we should take a few minutes and talk about the farm show and let everybody know how how it went with us, meeting with the public and talking to them like at a trade show.
Yeah, that was a good weekend.
It was. I wish Dan could have been up here with us.
Yeah, it would have been fun.
But
Thanks to COVID.
Chris's wife, his wife just messaged, and Chris has been working with me, and she just did a COVID test, and luckily it came back negative.
Thank goodness. I don't wish that on nobody.
So, but yeah, the farm show was, wow, it was a great event. We had some really interesting, I don't even know what the correct word to use is, but with the public. We had so many people that would come up and just ask, what we were, what we did. We had, well, let's start out this way. So working the show, the very first day, which was Friday, was the opening of the show. And there's, I think all the, FFA kids are there from all over, all the states. And then, there's lots of schools that bring, and then there's a lot of, not the huge amount of the regulars. Most all the regulars come on Saturday and Sunday. So it was the Western Farm Show that's held in the Kansas City area. This year was the 62nd annual show. It's held at the American Royal Complex, next to the old Kemper Arena. They call it the West Bottoms area. So it's a huge show. It is anything and everything agricultural related. And then there is an area where we fit in. It is people who like the Missouri Highway Patrol was there. There is retail stores that will be there, like farm, like most people have heard of Tractor Supply Company or Orscheln's or Beaumagards. I call it Beaumagards. I don't think that's the correct way to say it. But your typical farm type store, farm related agricultural ranch store. But there's all these people, and that's where we fit in. There's people selling food items, clothes, anything and everything. Well, that's where they had put us. And the first day wasn't too bad. We actually had some people that actually came up and talked to us about the Randy Leach case. So that was the first day. And then the second day, Dennis was there. And basically that Saturday was interesting. We had numerous people that come up and talk to us about cases. We had I had an elderly lady that came up, and she told me when she was a little kid, and she said she was going to start watching our show. She took one of our business cards. So I'm not going to say how old she was, but I would presume she did have white and gray hair. But she said when she was a little girl that her dad was one of the two guys. They would pull bodies out of the Missouri River, and they were paid $50 to go out in the river and retrieve bodies to bring them back to the police. So I had a really good conversation with her. But Tammy had some conversations, and then Dennis had some good conversations. We met, let's see, what did we meet, Dennis? We had a drone guy that offered his services for flying drones. We had the divers. It was a couple, a man and a woman. Dennis had talked to them. And Dennis, fill us in on that, how that went. Because you did most of the talking with them.
So he had, it was either 14 or 16 years prior law enforcement, and they're both certified open water divers. They have a group of friends that fall in the same category and are volunteering to come out anytime we need a diver, or they were looking to volunteer to come out and help with basically any search, but diving when needed. And seemed like really good people, really enjoyed talking with them.
Yeah. But I mean, what was crazy is I'm pretty sure if you're a regular of the channel, you had seen the videos that Dennis made that was like the flyers of, missing people. And it was just cycling on a repeat of the video. And we had a guy that he showed up and started watching, and he was really into it. And we noticed that a lot of people would just stop and they would sit there and watch the whole thing, multiple times as it cycled. But this was another guy who he was from a town where this boy went missing, and I think he knew the family. He might have known the boy, possibly. Was that how it went, Dennis?
His father had a lot of rental properties and rented to a lot of people in the area, and he's from around that area.
Yeah. And we chatted with him for quite a while. So it was definitely worth it. It was definitely worth being there, getting the name, our name out, definitely getting public awareness of missing people. I mean, it was a good time, and I guess that maybe that's not the right word to say. But it was great to talk to people. And, I mean, I had a couple of conversations with kids in high school that were, on the trip on Friday. And, they were just like, well, what do you guys do? And, and I explained to them, and, any questions from, oh, you mean there's kids our age that go missing to adults? And I'm like, yeah, absolutely. There's infants that go missing, toddlers. I mean, there's ages from that to, your grandparent type age, senior people that go missing. So, it was definitely great to be able to spread the awareness of what's going on, so.
See, then that Sunday, we had the lady that won't go too far into what she does, but she's with an organization that works with traffic victims,
Yes.
and had a good conversation with her. And the organization she's with is looking for video of how to escape a vehicle that's underwater, basically. So we had a long discussion with her on that. And once we get into doing experiments with the vehicle in the water, getting it lined up to where we can do that as well and get that film for them to use in their safety stuff. But there was a lot of interesting people there that week.
There was a lot of, and I kind of feel like there was a few times, and I don't think I'm stretching this out on a limb, but I think there was a lot of people that wanted to talk, but maybe they were scared to talk.
Right.
Because there was a lot of people that would just sit there and watch the videos, and I kid you not, in the blink of an eye, they were gone. They were gone out of the aisle, and they would just look at you and look at the video, and I felt like they wanted to talk, but they were scared to talk, and I know there was quite a few people that Tammy talked to that, Tammy has a way with getting people to talk, and, she would just be super nice and friendly, and, they would start talking. But there was, I guess there was just some that I feel like they knew something, and I don't know if it was past, present, future, what it was, and I know it sounds kind of silly, but it's just the way they were watching and looking at stuff and looking at us, and, we had business cards laying out on our table. We had flyers that has all of our information on it. So hopefully those people, if that's really what the case was, hopefully they find it, they find it in their soul, in their heart, or, if they get the courage that they want to talk about something, that they would reach out to us, So, but it's definitely something that I believe in the future we need to keep doing. You know, um, moving forward and spreading awareness. And, we've talked about doing these public, I know it sounds kind of silly, but, showing up in certain areas where there's a lot of people that go missing, and basically putting up, our little canopy and having banners hanging up and, handing out flyers and stuff. And, just getting people to be aware that this stuff goes on,
It's good you said that though, because April 27th, I registered to speak at Oklahoma Missing 2024. It's in Edmond,
Oklahoma. I
yeah.
take it. Awesome. Will you be able to go live when you do that somehow? And
I'm gonna find out, but I also requested a table.
okay.
So I got a big stack of business cards.
Yeah.
And I can print out flyers.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and what's silly is it's not like we were trying to bribe people to take the business cards, but we bought a Walmart supersize Easter candy bag that had like 300 pieces of candy in it. And I bought a 3-pack of Scotch tape, and I was taping candy to the back of business cards and putting them out. And, there was a lot of people that would come up, but, at least I got them to take the card, and at least hopefully they read it, and I joked with Dennis and Tammy and Megan, and I was like, well, I'll probably be walking out tonight and find half of them laying on the floor in the hallway, but, at least, hopefully they took a minute to read it and think, huh,
And I didn't find any laying around down there.
we didn't. And we were lucky because even though we were upstairs, our back of our booth was right at the stairwell that leads out of the building. So we could literally just go right out the back of the booth curtain and go right into the stairwell and walk down one level and right out the building into the parking lot. So,
another interesting thing that happened is you had the firefighter from a county in Missouri having trouble with water searches because they can't keep a certified diver.
yes, that did happen. But I think moving forward, as this year goes on, in the Kansas City metro area, there's so many different trade shows. There was Comic-Con, which we were right next to the Girl Scouts, and they were selling cookies. And that, we talked to that guy, and, they were telling us they were going to, Planet Comic-Con. And, there's an area where there's people like them and us can set up, and do stuff. But there's so many. There's the home and garden shows, there's the gun shows, there's car shows. There's so many things that, you can do to work one-on-one with the public, and getting them to just take a look at it just for a minute, because all it takes is it just takes a few seconds to look, and you might be like, oh wow, I just saw that person the other day, So moving forward, I hope that we can make that a goal with Muddy Waters, and just trying to keep the public awareness by trying to make it to public events, gatherings, and try to do something. So I would, because it felt good to talk with the public.
And a big thank you to the Western Farm Show too for letting us come out and set up there and helping us with that. Those booth spaces are not cheap, and they went out of their way to work with us on that and ensure we got to set up there.
Yes, absolutely. But yeah, so this summer we're gonna work on some other events, and working with the public and stuff. So, hopefully we just, keep doing what we do, and, hopefully someday it pays off. Hopefully someday somebody will know something and they'll contact the police. I mean,
Yeah, if it helps bring one missing person home, it was all worth it.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I agree.
So why don't we go ahead and give away our first t-shirt?
Let's do it.
It's going to be similar to this one. Colors may change. That'll be on Megan to do. But got everybody's names in here. Be beautiful.
Be beautiful.
So be beautiful. If you could email us or text me your address if you want the man style or female style t-shirt and what size you need, we'll get that out to you. And both the phone number and email is down in the video description. So be beautiful. Won the first one.
Awesome. Congratulations. Oh, Dennis,
And
what?
Dan, isn't she one of your people from TikTok?
Yep.
So you just married.
That's
And
another
I'm writing
one.
everybody's names as they pop up in the comments. So if you haven't commented, please comment so we can get your name added.
Hey, Mary. Another one showed up.
Awesome.
And yesterday I re-aired an episode on Summer Wells. It's an episode I'd done quite a while in the past, but I thought it had relevant information in it. And talking with Alex today, we're going to try something. Starting April 1st, we're going to replay all of our Randy Leach videos, one a night, every day until we've gone through those all. Then we will set up a special live feed specifically on Randy Leach's case and further discuss that case at that point. So that will start April 1st and we'll run through till those are done, and we'll do that live feed.
Will we blah blah blah? Randy's disappearance. Since we're just discussing Randy's, I haven't looked at the calendar yet, but the night that Randy went missing, what day of the week is that this year?
This year?
Yeah.
What was the date?
It is April.
It was the 9th of the 15th to the morning of the 16th.
Yes.
So the 9th is a Tuesday.
Or no, the 15th or the 16th.
15th is a Monday. 16th is a Tuesday.
Okay. Will we be doing a live show, Dennis, on the anniversary? Do you think we'll plan that this year?
I think we should.
Okay.
And if Jennifer or some of the others want to jump on and join us on that live, they'll be more than welcome to.
Okay.
And I do want to give that out to anybody that's got a missing person in their family, or it's a friend of yours, or if you've been working on the case and want to join us on a live feed to discuss that case, reach out to us. We'd be more than happy to bring you on.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if we're ever doing any show where, if because we try to let people know in advance what we're going to talk about. If it's individual cases, multiple cases, but if anybody ever wants to come on a show and talk with us, of course we ask that you would be respectful. We do have, and this is something that we didn't talk about the farm show, that we did have a couple of people that come up and said that their kids and them watch our shows together because they are huge missing people. I know this sounds kind of weird, but they are a fan of the missing people genre or situation, however you want to call it, that they like, listening and learning about missing people cases. So yes, we ask that, you try to keep your mouth under control as best as possible. We do know that a few cuss words will slip here and there, but, we ask that, if you can come on the show and be respectful and all that, that anybody is always welcome to come on and talk, whether it's a Randy Leach case episode or just anybody in general, because, the more we get out about a case, the more we talk about it, the more people who can relate to the case, whether they were a direct family member as a mother, father, brother, sister, grandparent, or cousins, stepbrothers, sisters, anything that we can help spread the word, awareness, because something that we've learned is there's a lot of cases that over time, not only is this person gone, but their story eventually dies and nobody talks about it. There's no updates being given. There's no, what's the current status of the case? Well, what's law enforcement doing? And this is where Dan and Dennis, they both shine when it comes to information like that. What's the current happenings with the story, and Dan works so hard on these Amber Alerts and these situations revolving around that any given time, Dan usually knows what's up. I mean, he knows the current status situation, but if there's ever anybody that's like right now, we have a guest right now that was talking about someone's missing, and if there's, even if you want to email us and make a suggestion that we talk about, your missing relative or friend, please do not hesitate to reach out to us, because there's so many cases that they eventually fall to the way they're just gone. People lose interest. People, it goes to cold case, where there's just no activity. And, I've learned a lot that, stuff goes to a certain point in law enforcement. They're not going to invest money into something, unless it's like the most current cases or leads come in. That stuff it gets, not to say it gets shoved in the back of the file cabinet, but it dies. It just goes away, and we should never let these cases die.
And that's same with news organizations. I mean, if it wasn't for social media, these cases would get no attention.
Yeah.
So, even the Summer Wells case, media carried that hot and heavy for the longest time, and then just nothing.
It just went away. And I guess it's kind of like Randy Leach case. Randy's case comes and goes, but it only comes and goes in April. When it's in the media spotlight, on TV, it's always that time. What did we put up here?
I can find out if there's one in that area. I can find out by tomorrow. Just send an email to our team email. That way I know who to respond to. And I'll find you trained search dog in that area.
It's just sad that, you know, like some of our viewers, if they know, the very beginning of 2023, I was doing the missing people's reports for Kansas and Missouri. And I did it for a while. Started getting some negativity and I stopped doing it. And I feel bad because I stopped. But, you know, unfortunately, and we say we're sorry 100 times. If we have problems pronouncing names of missing people, we try the best we can to pronounce names. And I just started getting tons of hate messages, just constant. And I got upset about it and I stopped because it was just nonstop. And for, I think, probably 2 weeks, every time I video, I had all these people, you know, you need to go back to school and learn how to speak. And, you know, your English sucks. And la, 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 la. And sorry, I'm doing the best I can. I'm just I'm a half country boy, half city boy. And, you know, I try the best I can to pronounce these names. And it got old. But, you know, I feel bad because, you know, I so badly wanted to help all these people and do these things, but it just wasn't. Sometimes you just can't win for lose and lose for win, however you want to say it. And, you know, it just, I wish people could be more kind for people that are trying to help, you know?
Yeah. And what really bothers me is a lot of times those that are not being kind like that, all they're doing is sitting at home on their couch being negative. They're not contributing. They're not trying to help nobody. They're just being that way.
Okay,
Yeah.
so they're not letting me put the email in the chat. Can you guys see this?
No. Hold it closer.
There you go. Dennis got it.
What happened to our little banner that would go across the bottom? Ah, there we go. Just like that, it's there.
There's Dane's little princess.
Yep.
You're right, Mac, a bunch of keyboard warriors. So, Alex, there's some experimenting coming up soon. One of those we've talked about quite a bit, and that is the AirTag experiment on the river.
Yeah. So we've had some cases where people, and unfortunately children, have gone into the river and have disappeared. And I was thinking one day, you know, well, how can we learn from trying to do some type of experiment? So I have Apple AirTags like on my trailers. I have them on my equipment. I buy the little shockproof, waterproof, you know, weatherproof little bolt together little cases that you can either, hook or stick to something. So I put this stuff on all my stuff. That way I can watch it on my iPhone. So I started thinking, well, how could maybe we could do an experiment. Maybe we could somehow learn from trying to do this by using an Apple AirTag. So one case that comes to my mind is a child, and that is Jeremy Coots, who went missing from Atchison, Kansas. Excuse me. So, we've talked about Jeremy Coots's case many a times. It was in the middle of wintertime. Jeremy was out playing. Speculative, factual, however we look at it. Supposedly, Jeremy possibly had gone to the river and either climbed out on the ice chunks or got in the water, and Jeremy disappeared. So one of our tests, and I was thinking about this, and I thought, well, how do we know how far somebody could go in the river? Because there's always been cases, whether someone's body or a car, and not to talk about Randy Leach too much, but Randy was another one where supposedly, one of the law officers said that possibly Randy and his car could have went all the way to St. Louis in the river. So we cannot we cannot reproduce 100% the experiment. But I thought what we could do is what if we had some type of floatable device and we could attach an AirTag to it, an Apple AirTag, and basically the area where Jeremy Coots went into the water, we could put this object in the water and we could track it. Now, granted, there's no ice. We can't recreate it 100%. I can't find a floatable, mannequin, because that would be horrendous. People would be calling the cops thinking somebody was floating down the river. But what we can try to do is look at it in an evidence kind of experiment, is to see that if something was introduced into the water, what's the chances it could float down the river just a couple miles and get snagged? Well, what if it was to float 20 miles down the river and get snagged? What if it did make it all the way to St. Louis? So we've got a couple cases that we have, talked about, I've thought about, and Jeremy Coots's case is one of them. Randy Leach's case is another one. So there's different areas, different cases, and it's not a 100% scientific experiment, because we can't do it, or we would get in trouble that way, because I don't want to throw a mannequin in the water and tie a thing around its neck saying that this is an experiment, don't touch, because I don't want people, I wouldn't want like a car wreck to happen, or people calling the cops and saying there's someone floating down the river that looks to be deceased. So some type of floatable device with like a lot of people that have fishing boats, pontoon boats, they put like their cell phone in it, their valuables, they put them in like a watertight bag that can be sealed. So my thought was, let's try this. Let's do this in a couple different river areas, and just see what is the reality of an object. How far could it go? Is it eventually going to wash up against the shoreline and get snagged and get caught? So, that's coming up. That's on our to-do list. We will definitely be doing videos. I do not know what we're going to call this experiment. But we have a couple areas. Well, Apple AirTags come in a 4-pack. So what I would like to do is if any of our audience lives in an area where speculatively somebody has disappeared in the river somewhere, and there is public access to an area, we would like to send you one of these setups because we would like to do this somewhere else, just not besides Kansas and Missouri where we're at. Or if Dan has a possible situation where we could do it down in Dan's area too, we would like to try it there. But if you would like to help participate in this, please reach out to our email and send us, your information. Send us the case that could possibly be in your area where supposedly somebody went into, a river. And let's just see where this goes, where it takes us, and what can we prove or disprove, is it, I know some people might think this is silly because it's, what is it really proving? But I think it would be great to try it and really see what kind of information we could figure out from this.
Now, how far can the tag get away from your device before it's not trackable?
So if you go on YouTube, there's lots of people that do these little experiments. Like I watched a guy that took a car to a scrap, and he was told that where he took his car to, these people were crushing cars and they were going to China. And so he was like, I'm going to try it. So he bought a junk car, put an air tag in it, took it to this scrapyard. And what they do is they smash them into cubes, squares, and then they ship them off supposedly. So he did it. He bought the car, he put the air tag, he took it to the scrap place, he sold it for a couple $100. They, smashed it, and the car sat in the scrapyard, I think, for like 2 months. And then one day he got an alert on his phone that it had moved. And he saw it move like 200-300 miles away, and then it sat for a couple weeks. And then all of a sudden, it showed that it was moving out into the ocean, and then it just stopped. So I think it was gone for like a month, and then all of a sudden it reappeared in China. So the story that this scrapyard was selling metal to China was truthful. So from what I've gathered and what videos I've seen is an Apple AirPod can be tracked as long as there is iPhones within, I don't know what the distance is, but as long as an Apple AirTag can find signal somehow, some way, it's trackable. So I don't know. I don't know if once we put them in the river, they get going down the river, they might not show up again till they're in an area, homes, along the river. It goes by a bridge. I don't know. I mean, it's literally an experiment. But I know people have done experiments with throwing stuff in pop bottles. They've put them on cars. They've put them on, whatever, to track them and see where they will go. But from what I've gathered, they always have to have some type of signal from an iPhone of some sort. But I'm not a technical person, so I don't know 100%. I know where my stuff sets all the time, and half the time there is no iPhones near it on certain times, so I don't know. This is part of the experiment. Will we truly be able to track it, or once it leaves the area, is it just going to disappear? Gets around places where there's iPhones again. I don't know. So maybe I need to call Apple and talk to an Apple. What do you call it? What's the word?
Representative.
Yeah.
Now, if that doesn't work, Life 360 tracks anywhere.
Really?
Yep.
Okay.
And they got little tiles.
I actually have a little square tile on my keys that Tammy got me a couple of years ago. So if that's the case, are they solely satellite linked?
I believe so. GPS linked.
GPS. See that? I mean, I think that's how the air tags work, but I don't know 100%, you know. But I've seen people literally take, I think someone in the audience made a comment about a 2-liter. I've seen experiments where people have put them in 2 liters and took them out in the middle of the ocean and thrown them and see where they go. So, okay, there we go. 2-liter bottle with weight. So when we talked about doing the experiment, I know they make the floatable buoys like for boats and stuff like that. So that's what I initially thought, was taking a buoy and getting one of the watertight, valuable bags and tying it to the buoy, putting the air tag in it, and writing a note and basically saying who we are and that this is an experiment, and that if you do find this, wherever you're at, if you do find it, whether it's a few days later, a month later, 10 years later, that if you do find it, that I will, of course, pay you to return it to us. I will give you a reward, that there will be a reward if you find it, and you will return it to us and contact us and tell us that you did find it, etc. So, I think we can learn from it. I really do. Because we'll have some type of evidence as to what something could or could not do. Exactly like the balloons when you were in school. I mean, everybody, well, I can't say everybody, but I know we did it here in the Kansas City school district when I was, in elementary school, and we did the balloons and tied the notes to them and, let them fly away and see where they ended up and stuff. So it's kind of the same type of experiment in a way.
See, and like I was telling you guys the other day, that's something that I would like to try in that area we did a search, because I want to know which direction the Canadian River flows.
Yeah.
Because this creek tees off at the Canadian River.
Yeah.
And it would be good to know which way that river flows.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think there's a lot to learn from it. I really do. I think you could learn a lot. And yeah, it is kind of silly, but I think, in the long run, that if you just think about it and
What is going on?
What's wrong?
The chat keeps acting up.
Uh-oh.
There it goes again.
I can't see it because I'm on my phone. Only thing I can see is what.
Is yours doing it too, Dennis?
No. And to answer that question, I haven't been contacted by Winnipeg or Red River Search. I'm not sure if Dan has, but I haven't.
I've never heard of it. It says something about Copilot.
I agree, Patina, that yes, you know, I mean, another example is I thought about putting, you know, some shirts on them, you know, and putting rubber bands around clothing around it just so it would have some type of resistance, like water catching on clothing on a person, you know. Um, but I just, yeah, the most logical thing would be use some type of mannequin dummy to do the test with clothing on it. Granted, we can't recreate decomposition and all that, but at least, water, something, like a body floating and getting snagged on sticks or rocks, um, that would be the more realistic way to do it. But like I said, I don't want to cause a car wreck on a bridge. I don't want people on the side of the road calling the police and saying, "Oh, there's someone, dead floating down the river." And then it's fake, and then they read our stuff, and then, it causes problems. I'm not trying to do that. I'm just trying to, look at it, as an experiment, and why I think that a buoy would not be something that might not be out of the ordinary, that accidentally got loose from a boat and took off. And, thought about doing a milk jug, putting it inside a milk jug and siliconing the cap on the milk jug, and, trying it that way, because in the end, it's just how far can something technically go possibly before it was to get snagged or hung up.
Okay, so you want to get a good laugh? You know why I couldn't get co-pilot to go away? No laughing though. I tried to touch the X button with my finger. Thought it was my phone.
And Mark, I see Mark commented. Mark, in April, starting April 1st, we're going to replay a lot of the Randy Leach videos, and then we're going to do a special live feed on Randy's. Wanted to make sure Mark had heard that, because I know he has done some work on this case as well.
Yeah.
And Catfish, you have a good night.
Good night, Bobby.
See what happens when you're on TikTok all the time?
And with the experiments, we also have the vehicle experiment we'll be doing one day. And this is where we take the car, we put it underwater, we bury it, we do everything that could happen to a vehicle to see, what's going to happen, what does happen, what doesn't happen. This is also the time that we would be filming escaping a sunk vehicle underwater and getting that over to the other organization. But this experiment come up in regards to the Randy Leach case.
Yes.
And it'd be a good experiment to try.
Well, there's when we talk about the Randy Leach case, there is so many theories, rumors, accusations. I mean, we've heard it all about the car. The car's in a pond, the car's in a river, the car was buried, the car went to the scrapper, the car ran off the road and is sitting in the woods 10 feet off the fence line in the ditch, and it's been there since 1988. I think, once again, trying to show some of this and to prove or disprove, what could have happened, or, is it factual? Is it likely? Is it just BS? There's no way that could have happened. Perfect examples is, oh, well, his car ran off the road and went into a pond. He drove off the road and went into the pond. Well, we know that, last year, I did do an experiment last year. If you're new to the channel, we did do an experiment last year. Where Tammy and I live, up the road from us, there is a barn with a white semi truck. It is off in the woods. Well, right now, when you drive by, you can see the barn through the woods. You can see the semi truck. So last year, on the day that Randy went missing, last year, I started documenting every week. I would stop and take pictures. I was basically documenting, even though it's not the same vehicle, it's not the same color, but we were simply doing an experiment, and that was on the day that Randy went missing. The season was in the middle of changing from winter to spring. How long could we see that semi truck and that barn through the trees, through the brush, before everything had greened over and there was leaves, the brush, everything? And I want to say, was it 4 or 5 weeks? It was like in the middle of May, to the point we couldn't see the semi truck no more. So, is it a 100% identical recreation? No. But was it enough that we could look and say, you know what? If he went off the road, he went through a ditch, he was 30, 40 feet off in the woods, one, you would have seen the trees and the brush where the car went through and knocked it over. Well, that's not the case with this experiment. But we could look and see how long before the vegetation had grown enough that you couldn't see the object. Now, granted, a gray colored car would have probably disappeared a lot quicker than a white semi truck. Something that we did. It was one way of looking at it and trying to prove something. Another one was, well, the grass was growing, and it was enough that if a car would have gone at a decent rate of speed through a field, through the grass, brush, and into a pond, surely the police would have been looking for tracks in the grass, and where it went from the grass to the soil to the water, you would have seen the tracks. You would have seen it in the soil, in the water. So, I'm sure, I would think that the police were looking for those things. Their training would have led to that. But then again, what did we just discuss a couple weeks ago? Randy, if I remember right, Randy was the actual first missing persons case in Leavenworth County of current modern times. So, were they 100% knowing what they were doing? We don't know, but there's always been rumors and speculation that the police didn't do their job, they didn't do enough. But we've all seen the thousands of pages of documents. But as out in the field and looking and physically looking at stuff, we don't know. But surely they would have known to have looked for those different things, So trying to do these experiments with the car, we have found a couple cars. We're trying to find the same exact car. We just hate to spend $4 or $5 grand for a nice one when we're going to, in the end up taking it to the shredder.
Right.
you've heard us talk about this. You know we're going to drive it into a pond. You know we're going to dig a hole and bury it and see how long it takes to bury this car. You know, and in the end, its fate will be to go to the crusher. You know,
See, burying it, another thing we want to do is see how far away from that vehicle you have to be before you don't hear the noise of the digging, the machinery, all of that stuff as well.
yeah,
Another experiment while you had the car was see how long it takes for the tires to catch fire.
yeah.
Because that was one of the scenarios where supposedly somebody's tire caught fire.
The second car, the car that Alberta and Harold bought to replace the missing car. I can't remember what the timeline was. I don't know if it was a month or two after they had it, but yeah, supposedly the tires caught on fire, and they said it was because of the gas line had broke or ruptured or something. But yeah, that's another experiment just in that particular case to see, that's something we can try.
Yeah, because we want to try like the gasoline, but we also want to try like brake fluid or motor oil too, and see how much heat it takes to get that to ignite, and see if that would ignite and actually burn to the point that a tire will actually catch on fire as well.
Yeah. So there's lots of things that we can learn from doing these experiments. I think it's just one way that when we look at a case like Randy's, we can look at it and say, this is factual. This could have happened this way, or no way. There is no way that this could have gone down like this. And, nobody would have ever, so, it's part of the learning process and really trying to look at this, the evidence from these cases, and, hopefully it helps us point in a direction to where it's, we can focus more on scenario A or scenario D,
Knowledge got a good idea.
What's that?
Maybe the police department would give one that was in their impound for the sake of learning.
That's possible. So knowledge is power, 1369. So in this whole experiment, we were trying to find this car. Not the car, but one identical to it. The same year, make, model. That way, when we did our experiment, because we have all learned that the haters are going to hate, the haters are going to call us out and say something. But if we have the exact car, that way, if we drive this car off the edge of the road into a farm field going 30 miles an hour, we can say, yeah, this is the exact car. This is what it did at this exact time of the season when Randy went missing. This is what would happen. If the car drove off and went through the brush and small trees on the side of the highway. This is what the car would look like if it was in the tree line, and this is what happened. This is what the car would look like if he ran off and went into a pond and unfortunately was in the car and it was underwater. And before anybody says anything, yes, we're going to drain the oil out of it. We're going to drain all the fluids before we drag it. Well, I'll take a machine, tie a cable to it, and we will pull it into a pond, or pull it with another vehicle to recreate the same hypothetical miles per hour, not just dragging it with, a tractor or, a skid steer. We'd pull it with another vehicle because we're trying to recreate things to the most logical recreation. I get
Mhm.
so. But
And,
yeah,
and also to add to that, we will have first responders on hand. We'll be inviting law enforcement there as well. And safety will take precedence on this, but we'll be doing all the safety measures to ensure it's done safe. And of course, law enforcement will be invited to come out as well in case they want to document it for their records and actually witness this and know firsthand how this goes.
yeah, yeah. So in the long story, we could find a car that was like the same length, same weight, but I would rather try to find the exact make, model, and year. Um,
Mhm.
we have found them. Um, I actually there was one in the Kansas City area last year, and I saw it on Facebook Marketplace. I was like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. I messaged the lady, and she's like, we had just sold it that weekend, and she hadn't taken the ad down. Um, Chrysler, Dodge, Plymouth all made the same version of the Dodge 600. They just called it a different name. And it had, the front fascia, which is like the lights, the bumper, the grill, or the rear fascia of the car, which is like what's on the trunk lid, the tail lights, the bumper. They were all just a little bit different. But the Plymouth Caravelle was identically the same as the Dodge 600. It just said Caravelle instead of Dodge 600. Now, the Chrysler New Yorker that they made that year, it was the front of the car was different and the rear of the car was different. So, you know, trying to find the exact model of car would be the best scenario for this experiment.
Mhm.
Um, one of the other things was, if I remember right, I don't know if we've looked up the VIN number through Chrysler to see which motor that the car had in it, if it had the 6-cylinder or the turbo 4-cylinder. But I know one of them is how far could the car drive on a tank of gas?
Mhm.
You know, Speculative. Randy only had so much money on him, and he's never withdrawn money. That doesn't mean throughout the evening somehow he acquired more money, and if he drove somewhere and had more money to do that, we don't know.
Right.
But the reality is how far could that car drive on a tank of fuel?
Mhm.
That's another experiment that we would like to do with it. So if any of our audience is out there and you have nothing to do and you're bored and you think, man, I'd like to help Muddy Waters out. If you see one of these cars on Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist or in your area somehow or another, please let us know. Because that event, that time is coming up again. We're getting really close to it. I would really love to do this experiment that week if possible, because we're trying to make it the most realistic, factual recreation of events. So,
So looks like our viewers are down to 26 right now. But why don't we go ahead and do the other t-shirt giveaway?
okay.
Dawn. Yeah, I don't remember if there was a last name on here. Megan wrote this one down. But DAWN.
Well, Dawn, if you're still with us, please let us know.
Yeah, and our contact information is below, email or text. Men's shirt, ladies shirt, what size you need, and I don't know, Alex. I get addicted to doing these. Might have to do one more.
All right. We can always get more shirts. Always.
Kimberly Stringini. Probably did not pronounce that last name right.
Is that one from TikTok, Dan, or is that somebody totally new?
I don't know. I'd have to see who responds. I'm looking for Dawn right now. See if there's a last name. Dawn Oswald. That's Little Brat from TikTok. OSWALD. I can message her on Facebook. Hang on.
We have Kimberly. And Kimberly, if you see this, also shoot us a message or something. Let us know the shirt size, male or female shirt, and the shipping address. And I'm not going to try to pronounce the name. Alex, I'm no good at names either. But yes, we do have your name.
Yeah, I'm not even going to try to pronounce.
So we do have some searches coming up this year. Randy Leach, Crystal Kipper, Billy and Mary Black, Jeremy Coots, Chance Engelbert, Carol Solons. Her brother emailed me. I got that email today, and we'll definitely be lining up to go down. We do have an area of interest in that search. Definitely be water sonar. There's an area that's going to be too shallow for sonar, so the underwater camera system would work there. If the water's clear, we'll be going back in to do a ground search there. And again, that's where GPR would really be needed.
Yes. So
Also, this summer, there is a larger lake up here around us that has been named a place of interest in a couple different cases. So we're lining this up for this summer. We're going to invite some of the other teams to come in, and we're going to go out and we're going to clear every area on this lake that a vehicle could have went into the water. Hoping we can get it done in a weekend. It might take longer than that because it is a fairly big lake. So you guys aren't going to want to miss out on that. We'll be filming out there. I'm sure some of the other teams will be filming as well. But we're going to be doing that this summer. I'm looking forward to that one. And I'm hoping OK Diver will be able to come up for this. I haven't spoken with him yet specifically on this, but I'm hoping he can make it up for that.
if we can possibly, the couple that we met at the farm show, we can possibly try to get them to help out also.
Right. I would like to have them, and I would like to have the drone operator come out as well for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think if it was possible to have the drone operator, document our searches, whether it's land or water, that would be a wonderful thing if we could do that. Because we have so many things to do, and it's so hard to try to cover everything when there's sometimes there's only a handful of us that can make it to a search. And that kind of comes back to one of our comments is, if you all or anybody ever searches, on Facebook, the Muddy Waters, search and recovery, there's numerous different pages. There is pages that is our normal main page. There is some private pages that is for members only type scenarios. And then there is a volunteer page. So if anybody, ever wants to be a volunteer, please join that page. Join it. We can add you to it. And when we do searches, we will put it out there. There's scenarios where we need help. And then there's times you might see something where we put in there, oh, well, hey, we just saw the Muddy Waters gang did a search and they didn't ask for the public's help. Sometimes there might be situations where we could possibly have threats or something where we would never put anybody who's offering to help us, we could never put their life in jeopardy. So please, if you ever see something where we did something and you don't see where we asked for help, hopefully people will understand that there is certain situations where we just can't, but there is situations where we will ask for your help, in a public setting where there isn't no type of threats or there's no way for somebody to get hurt or something like that. So just kind of letting people know that, and we would definitely explain it if, we would always explain our actions, why we did this or we didn't do that. So people would know.
And tonight, I did put the link to the volunteer Facebook page down in the video descriptions as well.
Oh, okay.
And see, there's a reason why it's done that way, because you guys got to understand these cases, people don't want them closed. So they're going to do everything in their power to keep them from being closed. So we have had a few instances where threats have came into play.
Yeah. And if we have a case where we need help, first off, we would never give the location where we're going. We are going to give a meetup location, and then we will follow together to the actual location that we're going to. We would never publicly state who we were looking for till we got to the location, and then we would let you know. And also we would, depending on the case or what's going on, there might be, what do we call it, Dennis? An NDA?
Non-disclosure agreement.
Yeah.
Right.
That, we can't discuss what we're doing. But, says, okay, we did what we did. We didn't find nothing. If you say, hey, I helped the Muddy Waters gang and, I was told it was okay to share my experience, then if Dennis says it's okay to do that, then I guess you're more than welcome to, if he's okay with it.
Yeah, because there's some things that we just absolutely cannot share publicly.
Yeah. So those are stuff that, we would definitely let you know, but we have cases where we need help. There's just too much ground to cover, and we're not ashamed to ask for help. So
Nope. I was lucky to get 6 people willing to do it.
yeah.
And that's all I really needed because of the width of the bank. I mean, you don't really need much more than that.
Yeah.
You want to do one, Megan? Sure. Megan wants to give the T-shirt away.
Oh.
Well, you got to come in and say hi too while you're here.
Hello.
Hola, señorita. Now watch, it's gonna be that Yvonne, the hard name.
If you can't pronounce it, it's likely Yvonne. What name is it? Carol.
Carol's in here, or what she was. Let's see.
So Carol, if you see this, email or text, let us know, male or female shirt, what size, and a mailing address. And Megan Knowledge Powers says hello.
All right, so where is Carol? I've seen that name.
Megan doesn't come in front of the camera a lot, but she does a lot of work behind the scenes. The 2 case layout videos we recently done, she done a lot of the research on those and always helped behind the scenes.
Yeah, I don't get on
want her in
camera
front of
either.
the camera, but
Okay, it
she's
doesn't
also
have
my
a last
boss, so I
name.
got to do what she says.
It doesn't have a last name by her, but she does have a blue circle with a C. I don't know who that is. Right. Yeah, I don't get in front of the camera either. I don't know.
You never leave the camera, Dan.
You're on TikTok like 24/7.
It's insane.
Yeah. I think that's where you're going to find your next wife.
Shh. I already get them hitting on me. Shh.
I know. I have witnessed it. I have seen you in action, buddy. It's okay. I know why you got that younger look going on now. Cat. Oh, and today's video was sponsored by Renew Lotion. This is what Dan is now using on his TikTok videos. If the ladies of TikTok and the fellas have noticed that Dan is looking younger, this is the new product that makes him look younger. And he's also using this hairspray right here called hell, I can't pronounce that.
If I had hair club for men, Alex, I would bring it out, but I don't have hair to put it on. Come on.
Dennis's was expired.
I needed
pretty sure his was expired.
All right, go ahead and take your hat off again, Dennis.
Holy moly, it's the Terminator of TikTok.
There. Now's not blinding.
I need some of that stuff Dan's using.
Hold on, Dennis. Dennis, do that again. Take your hat off. Now turn your head to the left just a little bit. Look at that glow behind his head, Dan, on the wall. I can't see anything. I'm getting kind of thin myself.
Your grandpa would be all over this right now.
Hey, we have to joke and laugh.
So moving beyond our bald heads, we do have a public website that will be up later this year. I've been working on it for most of all of last year, and it's almost to the point of making it public. But it's going to feature the missing persons cases. It's going to have an area to submit a new case for us to look at, another area to submit information or locations of interest on a case that we have. There's going to be some other interactive pages on the website and a page dedicated to safety measures, especially when it comes to our children. You can kind of think of the stranger danger we were taught growing up, but it goes into a little bit more detail and stuff. But this will be coming out at some point this year as well. I'm ready for that to be out because that has been a lot of work putting that all together.
I bet.
Then before we get to the big giveaway, an announcement to make on Muddy Waters Search and Recovery. This is something that a lot of us have discussed multiple times, and some of you guys have even mentioned it and brought it up to us. But we have applied for our 501c3 non-status, our nonprofit status. There we go, 501c3 nonprofit status. We're hoping to have that confirmed in the next 1 to 2 weeks, is what I'm hearing. We do have a legal representative working with us to get this set up. But what this does is it helps you guys know that we are being held accountable with everything that we're doing. Those of you who have donated and donate in the future, it's security for you to know that we're being held accountable by the IRS to ensure that money is used how that's supposed to be used. It also sets us up to where we will have a tax ID number we will be able to give to any person or any business that donates. That would be considered a charitable contribution that they would be able to claim on their taxes. It also does open up potentially some grants and that kind of thing. And all of this is going to help us continue to get the equipment and gear that we're needing to do even more than what we do. Many times we talked about ground penetrating radar. We absolutely need that piece of equipment in multiple cases that we're working on. And this is really going to help us kind of fast forward getting that, as well as other equipment. And it is going to add INC to the end of our name, but I really think this is going to benefit what we're doing to help the families and help us help so many more. Mm-hmm. This has been in discussions with us for quite some time, but the paperwork has been sent in, waiting for the state to process it, confirm it, and I'm hearing 1 to 2 weeks, and that should be done, and it will be official. So kind of excited about that. is a really huge step for us. I think it's a step in the right direction.
Definitely.
Well, I think a lot of people know that we don't come on here and beg for money. You know, we're not that type of group. You know, we have a GoFundMe page for stuff. You know, we have an Amazon wish list, and we mention it, but we don't get on here and pound it in your head. And you know, when we do things, you know, Dennis pays for things, I pay for things, Dan pays for things. Um, you know, we've had some donations for things and do things. 100%. We are blessed and so thankful for people that have always done stuff to help us out. Um, but like Tammy's talking over here behind around the corner of the wall, you know, we have to have some funds. We have to have donations to do this. A lot of this stuff costs a lot of money, you know, and you know, in order to do a lot of the things that we need to do and move forward with helping families and trying to bring closure, trying to do something, it all costs money. You know, even right now, just doing this costs money. I mean, there's internet to pay for. We all have internet. You know, it costs, you know, this stuff costs money to print out our little sheets. You know, we just don't wing this. We have our little itinerary of what we're going to talk about on the show, you know. Phone bills, you know, it costs money just talking, you know. There's every which way you look at this, there is nothing free about it. It costs money every direction, you know. So
Open records request costs money.
yeah, perfect example, Dan. So trying to move forward with progress, bettering muddy waters, you know, all of this is something that we have discussed. And, you know, we have talked to people in the past about donating a GPR unit, you know, donating the sonar, the boats, the stuff, you know, the stuff that you really need. And I know it gets brought up when you talk to these people. Well, do you have this? Well, do you have that? Well, no. Well, no. But it was time. It was time to do this. It was time to make the move. Yes, it does cost money to do this. It's not free, you know.
And like that GPR, just the crystal tipper case alone, and how many cases that could possibly close having that unit.
Yeah.
I mean, there was what 20 something women went missing.
Yeah. Counting Crystal, there's 23 that could possibly be on that property. At least 23.
Yeah. And you know, this is acres and acres of farmland, and you know, acres of farmland is easier to work with that than going out there blindly and shoving sticks in the ground with no clue as to where anything could be, except knowing that his car, his truck, you know, whatever he had was seen there that following morning in the middle of the morning, midnight hours, however you want to say it. He was seen there. And this was his known fishing spot. You know, and then when you look at the big picture, all these women that went missing within the vicinity of where this guy lived. Not to mention the other woman that got away from him. You know, so, you know, back to the reasoning is, you know, we need these things. And, you know, I mean, how many times have we been told, well, you guys just need to ask. Don't be shy. Don't be bashful. Just ask, and it's really hard to say, hey, it's hard enough all the time saying, hey, can you hit the like button? Can you hit the share button? Can you do this? Can you do this for us? Can you do this? Can you share the videos? So it does get hard, asking, and you don't ever want to come across as begging, but I just, I think in the big picture is this is going to help us being looked at as a legit group now with this the way everything is moving forward, to present this and say, look, if you can help us, we can help you. This is what you need to write off your donation, and we can provide this now. That we are a legit, we're just not a bunch of hillbillies over here looking for somebody. We're trying to be legit. We're trying to do everything we have to do to be doing things the best way we can. A legit search group. Thanks, Mac.
If you guys can see this, it's a list of cases we are currently working on. That was the first page. This is the sixth page. There are 260 cases on this list that we've been asked to look at since we've started. If we had every case we worked on here, it would be 1,000 plus. Thankfully, a lot of people have been found, but 260 there, plus a few more that I'll be adding to that this week. Many of these ground penetrating radar is going to be needed.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a lot of cases, but when I've talked to Alex about this, there are times that sometimes you feel that you're not doing enough or what you're doing isn't helping. But then you look back, we've been doing this over 3 years now, and you look back at cases we've worked on that we've been able to assist in bringing missing loved ones home. Tragically, some of them were deceased, but we have been able to help bring people home alive and safe and get them back to their families. And when you look at all of those, it's just amazing.
Here's a story, and I'm sure Dennis can fill us in. You should tell the audience about the time that you were doing, this was before I was involved and Dan was involved, and you were doing a case layout on a kid who was missing. And he evidently was searching his own name on YouTube and saw you doing a live, and he literally commented on the video.
We did. This young man went missing out of the state of Kansas, and someone asked me to look into it. So we do the case layout video. Well, it happened somebody in a complete different state saw his image and recognized him as just moving in across the road from him. So they bring in law enforcement. They confirm it is him. So they bring him back to Kansas. Within days, he goes missing again. The same person calls me, asks us to look into it. So I do another video on his case. Again, somebody in a complete different state recognized him, called law enforcement, confirmed it's him, brought him back to Kansas. A couple days later, he goes missing again. So I get the phone call. I go ahead and I'm doing the case layout, but I'm doing it live. And this person starts commenting on the live feed. Then I ended up getting in contact with this person and was informed of basically a troublesome home life he was trying to get away from. He was almost 18 years old at the time, like a couple months away. So I did notify law enforcement, let them know the story, what was going on. They did go meet with this person, and everything got smoothed out. But it was so weird having him start commenting on the live feed about him missing. And thankfully, the last report I've gotten on that individual is this person is safe. They've made something really positive of themselves, and really proud of that person.
Crazy, crazy, crazy.
I can tell you something pretty funny that happened the other day on TikTok during an Amber Alert. We found out the guy's phone number, and I called it.
That's right.
He answered it. Why answer a phone if you just kidnap somebody? I mean, come on.
It's crazy. Crazy, crazy,
When
crazy.
you told me that, I couldn't help but crack up when you told me that, Dan.
I couldn't believe it. I mean, come on. Why? Why would you answer your phone?
Some people just don't use their heads.
Apparently not.
I mean,
Maybe he was just trying to act cool, but nothing happened.
yeah.
I couldn't believe it. I know if I did something like that, you ain't getting me to answer no phone. I won't have no phone on me.
So, guys, the final giveaway tonight, this is the big one. This one is all on Alex. So, how you want to do this one, Alex?
I want you to just draw a name and just announce it. And of course, hopefully they're with us. Hopefully they'll respond. And we just need an email with their or their real name if they don't go by their real name, but we'll need a name and an address, and something will show up in the mail. So
He's got me curious on this, because when one of the things we were discussing before actually jumping on live was this, and Alex let us know about it, but he didn't even let Dan and I know what this gift is. So this is going to be interesting.
Alex, this better not be no bag of dookie.
Pooty Doo. A bag of Pooty Doo from an ox.
Hey, you want to pick it, Megan? Keep it over here in front of the camera.
Okay.
Now, guys, heads up. Alex does have livestock, so I mean,
Yeah,
God.
but this is the one that is Yvonne.
Yvonne.
Is she still with us on the show?
I think she is.
Well, let us know if you're still there. You'll have to share her comment if she's still on. And the Camden Point Organics just got going today.
There she is. She's here.
He's there. Awesome.
And I think we already have her email because she sent us a lot of emails.
Yeah.
Well, if she can forward, her information where the item needs to come from, or where it needs to go, please let us know, and I will get something headed your way.
Let's see.
And when you get this, you're going to have to let us know what this is, because I, for one, am curious.
Yeah.
Alex ain't even right.
So it's been a while since we done some giveaways. So I would like to get back on course with doing some shirts on Sunday nights and something special. So we will have to replenish our shirt supply. And we'll, we'd like to give back to the audience, some way, just something special for, hey, thanks, thanks for being here. So.
And speaking of that, the channel membership, first off, to all of our members on there, thank you very much for being there and for your support. We are structuring a kind of a benefits thing for the channel members. There's, I believe, 3 different tiers on there, and we'll be releasing that information just in the coming days. But we'll be doing more stuff for our members only as well. I know a lot of teams, their members, no matter what tier level they're on, their search videos they'll release early for them, let them have first access to it. And we're going to do that too. Any search video, it'll be either 24 or 48 hours that it will just be released to the members and before going public. But we kind of want to do a little bit more. I don't think that's enough for everything all of you guys do for us. You guys help us be able to do what we're doing, and it's just a way to say thank you.
Yeah.
So we'll be releasing the full details of that in the next week or 2.
Awesome.
So now I jump on the sales pitch. If you haven't joined the membership, consider doing so. But congratulations to all of our winners tonight. And I know one then said they sent the email.
Dawn sent hers.
Yeah. So we'll get that sent out. And as the others get us their information, we'll get things sent out to them.
Yes, please do, because,
How do you become a member?
There should be a button you click on that says join.
Hang on, let me see. Mighty Watcher Search and Recovery. Yeah, there's a join button. It's a join
and
button.
Knowledge is power. Absolutely. You're more than welcome to share. And you are also welcome to put a link in the comments to your channel as well. And Joanne says, good to have a much missed live stream. It seems like it has been forever.
It's been a while.
In fact, I told Megan like 10 minutes before going live, I actually had butterflies tonight going in live. It's been so long.
I think I spend 90% of my day on a camera.
Yeah. Yep. Dan.
What?
Whoa, what was that?
I don't know. They weren't going to let you call me Dan the TikTok man.
Oh, no. If we're conspiracy, we need to go to the other channel.
The secret channel.
The secret channel. That's right.
And guys, those who did not win a t-shirt tonight, you're welcome to go to Crooked Trail Designs. That link is in the video description as well. Megan has some of those shirts over on her Etsy account. Be sure to check that out. 100% of the profits on the Muddy Water t-shirts there comes to Muddy Water Search and Recovery. A percentage of all other sales also comes to Muddy Water Search and Recovery. So you're getting a good item. The money's going to good use. It's a win-win.
Yes, it is.
So did you guys have anything else you wanted to hit on tonight?
Yeah, I need the winning Mega Millions numbers. Anybody in the chat? We got any psychics in the building?
I think we've had a few that have joined our show off and on over the.
I know. I try to get them to give me numbers on TikTok, but they don't.
Dan. Well, maybe if you would be nice.
Hey, I'm always nice until it's time to not be nice.
That's right. Sometimes you have to be the good investigator, and sometimes you have to be the bad investigator. Right?
Yep. Don't poke the bear if you don't want to get bit.
Right. Don't stick the stick in the cage if the other thing in the cage has hands and can pull the stick out of your hands. Right? Do you know how much wood a woodchuck could chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood, Dan?
Woodchucks don't chuck wood. Beavers do.
Ah,
Boy, he's good.
he is good. He's quick. You know what the little tomato said to the big tomato?
What did the little tomato say to the big tomato?
Yeah,
I have no clue.
catch up.
Alex getting into the dad jokes.
Right. You know what the grape said when the elephant stepped on him?
What did the what say when the what stepped on him?
Do you know what the grape said when the elephant stepped on him?
I heard you the first time. I just want to see how many times I get you to say it.
Oh. He didn't say anything. He just let out a little whine.
Oh my goodness.
It's a good thing Brantley's not in here because we would hear these over and over again for the next week.
Hey, where's your granddaughter?
She went home.
Oh,
Go pick her up. Alex needs some lipstick, some eyeliner. Oh wait, Tammy's there. She can dress you up.
I'm a good grandpa. If I have to make her happy and she wants to dress up her papa, then that's what I do.
Yeah, unfortunately. I've had a few fingernails painted in my life.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've seen that other TikTok channel you're on.
That's Clapper.
Clapper.
Okay. We're going to get into this, but I'm not going to post the link in our group so I don't give you guys horrific nightmares. So I had an Amber Alert come in out of Alabama.
Yeah.
And one of my group members sent me the link to the woman's Facebook page. And let's just say I deactivated my Twitter account after I clicked on the link. I did not, thank God I didn't open the Instagram. She had a Clapper account. I regret opening that. She was, now I'll go into the last thing. She had an only you know what page.
And
So,
only
I can't say the word because I don't know if YouTube will get you guys in trouble for it.
Oh, you talking about the only cans cage?
Yes. Now,
Can't.
keep that in mind. She has an only cans cage.
Yeah.
Now, that'll tell you what the Twitter, the Instagram, and the Clapper was about. I never in my life thought that Twitter allowed that. When I seen what was on that Twitter, I instantly deactivated my Twitter account. It was that graphic.
I'll be honest with you, Dan. I don't even know what a Clapper account is.
It's a version of TikTok, because if TikTok gets banned, I'm already building up another account and another platform.
I've never heard of that.
Yeah.
Huh.
I mean, it's going to take forever to get where I'm at now, because I'm almost at 31,000 followers.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a pain in the butt. It took me a year and 2 months to get to
Yeah. Do you got an account on Feetbook?
Facebook. Yes.
I said Feetbook.
No, I don't do show my feet thingies. But you can do that on Clapper after dark.
I Clapper after dark with Dan. Where the bald men come out to play.
And guys, Dan's just investigating, guys.
Yeah. He's doing research purposes.
No, I could not believe that.
Oh,
was
man.
that totally messed. I from now on, I told everybody that helps me look into these on Discord. I have a chat on Discord where we show information so we can figure out where they're headed, what direction, who they know where. They are in charge of looking into the social media now.
Man, Dan, you got yourself into lots of things.
I ain't clicking on no more link trees ever. Never.
Did it have anything to do with the trout?
Let's just put it this way. Certain things don't belong in certain locations. We'll leave it at that.
Oh,
I couldn't wash my eyes out enough to unsee what I had to see. And that was just to try to find a recent photo to put on a Amber Alert flyer.
Oh man, I'm sorry.
Yes, Mac. Yes, 100%.
Mac
Nope.
says Dan's
There ain't no more link trees for me. Not a chance.
Oh man.
I'll put the flyer up without a picture.
Yeah. just put a stick figure.
Yeah, something. I ain't clicking on no links, though. Not happening.
Oh man. Terrible, terrible, terrible. Well, I'm glad we got to do a show tonight. It's been a while for sure.
And we'll be going live next Sunday night. But then the Sunday night after that, I believe, is Easter Sunday.
31st is Easter.
So we won't be going live that weekend. But then the following weekend, we'll be live again.
Okay.
Y'all keep laughing. I'll post that link back in Discord. I'm scarred for life. No joke.
Oh man. I know we've seen some stuff in the past that's pretty bad.
I never thought in a million years that the mother that abducted the child would ever have platforms like that.
Yeah. In today's world, there's no telling. There's really not. Dan knows more than what he's leading on to.
As far as what?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
As far as that link tree, no, I only clicked on Twitter. After I seen Twitter, I didn't click on no other links. Nope. Alex is frozen. Oh, no, there he is.
Was the fan spinning?
Yeah, it's still spinning.
I don't know if I was frozen then.
Let it go.
Well, so what do we have coming up this week, Dennis?
So this is somebody about Summer Wells. I think Candace was selling grandma's pills and she got snatched on the way out.
Oh, wow.
Possibility.
There are so many things that could have happened to Summer, and none of it could really be ruled out yet.
No. We did celebrate her 8th birthday on TikTok. We brought in a bunch of people. We all lit candles with a cupcake and celebrated her birthday for her.
Oh, that was awesome, Dan. I know Tammy's sister lives about 15, 20 minutes from where Summer Wells went missing. So I know when Tammy and I was back down in the area again one of these days, we were going to go to that area. So. Huh. What year did she go missing? 20.
We just had 1,000 days. February something. February 5th, I think, was her 1,000 days or something like that. Or no, February. Chat. When was that? Summer's birthday. I can look on my Discord or my TikTok.
On camera, you have a good night.
Thanks for joining us, Tamara.
Summer. No, that's when she went missing. That'll make 3 years. Summer. Okay, February 2nd. So the 3rd is when we did it because I made the video February 2nd.
Huh.
Come say hi to everybody because I don't know how long we're going to be on.
Sorry, I was having to do some math here for a second.
Yeah, February 4th. That's when we did her birthday. Her 1,000 days was just recent.
Wow. It's pretty sad.
Yeah, I believe Catfish is going to go down and search a couple of areas for Summer as well.
I wonder if I didn't make a video for that one. Yeah, I didn't make a video. I just did a live stream for that one.
Mm-mm-mm. It's a sad thing, the amount of kids that go missing. Hmm.
Yeah.
I think I saw the video you did with the candles and stuff, Dan.
So March 17th would today marks 2 years, 9 months, and 2 days. From the day Summer Wells went missing.
Wow. Mm-mm-mm. So who supposedly is Tony Hammond?
I don't know.
Speculative somebody that was a drug dealer or someone buying or selling drugs, evidently.
Nope, knowledge there is no answers still, none whatsoever. And that's what bothers all of us. There's somebody knows something. Somebody needs to speak up.
Somebody always knows something. Always.
Yep. People don't just disappear.
That's very true.
That's a possibility too. I mean, nothing can be ruled out in that case.
And that is very frustrating that, she's been gone this long and not one thing can be ruled out.
No.
Man. Oh wow. This is sad.
We're going to have to look into that and see if we can find any connections there.
Yeah.
Anybody write that name down?
Yeah, I wrote it down.
All right.
Yeah, definitely have to look into it and see what else comes up related to that name. Any other situations or
I can find out all the possible associates to that name.
properties?
Properties, phone numbers,
Vehicle.
charges.
And one thing we know for sure is we can't stop till she is brought home.
Correct. Yes, Alyssa. Boss girl left. She's back in her room.
So, guys, with that, we're coming on 2.5 hours tonight. And it's funny, earlier today, Alex and I was wondering if we'd break an hour tonight. But 2.5 hours, getting late. I think I'm about ready to call it a night.
I don't know nothing about any long live streams.
No,
Oh, no.
I go to
You
bed.
don't know nothing about short. This is short for Dan.
Yeah. I think there's been times where I've gone to bed and Dan's on live, and I'll get up and Dan's still on live. And I'm like, wow.
Are you going live again tonight, Dan?
No, not that I know of. See, my problem is if it's a little child and there's a serious circumstance, my mind won't go to sleep. So it's better for me to stay on a live stream and keep pushing it out than to just lay down in bed. Now, the Amber Alert we just had out of Minnesota, it totally it was so horrific. It made me to where I couldn't even talk. The mom killed her 2 other children, set the house on fire, and took the 3rd child.
Was the 2 other children and the 3rd child related?
They were all related.
Same mother, same father.
I believe so. I'm not 100% on that, but
Wow. You know, it's a sick world we live in.
I couldn't even get words to come out my mouth. I was so angry and mad.
I bet. Man. Oh, man.
So, guys, with that, there will be a couple other videos pop up at some point this coming week, and we'll do another live this coming Sunday night, 7:30 p.m. Remember, if you are interested in joining us on the live feed to talk about a case, reach out to us, let us know. We'll get that scheduled and bring you on. That's open to anybody. Do you guys have anything else?
Just want to thank everybody that participated tonight and took the time out of their lives to hang out with us and, help discuss stuff and, participate with their comments and stuff. So we do appreciate it. It does mean a lot to us.
And the number one thing, if you see a missing person flyer, share it. That one share could be the main share that locates that child or person. It only takes a second to share a flyer, share a video, share anything. The more people that share, the better chance somebody comes home safe.
That's right. That is.
And if any of you guys are on TikTok, I know a lot of you are here that follow Dan on TikTok, but missing_in_USA is Dan over there. That's incredible over there. So make sure to go check him out and support him over on that.
Yeah, my little peon TikTok channel is just a little itty bitty channel.
Yeah, but at least, Alex, we got you large enough followers to where you can jump in a box and talk now.
You have. I will admit, you guys, the people that you've brought over and helped greatly have made a difference, and it's getting there. It's just, my other TikTok channel that I had that, I did the Bobcat stuff on, it was just, like I've told you guys before, I was devastated when I lost the ability to log into it, and all I could log in was to the Muddy Waters one. And once that happened, I lost interest in doing anything because all that hard work. I mean, I was working so hard on the channels, and, I'm like, well, all it takes is one person to make it to where you can't log into your channel, and then TikTok wouldn't help me at all with getting it back. And I just quit till, last month. Last month I started trying to do videos again, and it was like I was gone away from it for a year, and now I had the hardest time trying to figure out how to do them again. So, but yeah, so big thanks to Dan for, giving me the motivation and, the help to get it going again. I do appreciate it. For sure. So
guys, with that, we will call it a night. We will see you guys live next week. Don't forget a couple videos coming out this week. Megan, anything else? So with that, you guys stay safe, and we will see you guys tomorrow.
Bye.
bye.